What's going on YouTube? Back at you again with another video. JC Cowboys Network, you already know what it is. The 2022 season is here. Finally, I've been holding it down for all these breakdowns in my first 25 videos. It's been fire videos and we're gonna stay true to these breakdowns. We got one more left. And after this, it's gonna be all types of training camp coverage. But what we wanna do is we wanna bring quality content and take my time with this content so y'all can enjoy every single minute of it. So next up is Storey Jackson, linebacker out of Liberty. So Cowboys Nation, get your popcorn ready and your Debbie snacks and let's get to it. Storey Jackson, linebacker, Liberty, AKA Hit Stick 6. Coming in at 6'2" and weighing in at 225 pounds. A ferocious hitter that forces you to put respect on his name. Nickname, Hit Stick 6. Sounds like a turnover machine in a Madden game. A warrior of an athlete that's been a top dog at every single college he's been to with true versatility. A player that went to 3 different colleges and dominated. Hutchinson Community College, Prairie View, and Liberty. This is a player that's full of big hits, hit sticks, body slams, and spears. Something like Scorpion grabbing a quarterback yelling, "Get over here!" We're talking about a guy who is a quick trigger of an athlete with the physicality and closing speed to roam sideline to sideline, pre-read and diagnose offenses. True weight room top dog, gridiron abuser that likes to flex without the F, Luger. Under the radar player that should start out by making his money on special teams. Being on special teams, that's a true win. Starting off with Bones Fossil and then focus on impressing Dan Quinn. This player needs to shoot for the stars and do the unthinkable. But you know what they say, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible to the visible. Let's get to it, Cowboys Nation. Storey Jackson is an athlete that will lay his body on the line for the team. A high character type of teammate that was a true green dot guy at Liberty. He's a player that has a knack for getting to the quarterback and finished with 7 sacks in 2021. And he also has good closing speed and he finished with 102 tackles last year as well. Pre-reading and diagnosing plays were something that he really excelled at. And this allowed this player to not be hesitant and go out there and execute his assignment. Storey Jackson is a set the tone athlete. A guy that really gets things going with his physicality and it spreads throughout the entire defense. See ball, get ball mentality. If running backs aren't using the proper blocking technique against this player, he has a knack for blowing right through you, and that's exactly what I saw on tape multiple times. Coming from Olathe, Kansas, Storey Jackson was a player that dominated in every college that he attended. Hutchinson, Prairie View, and Liberty. He is a player that played defensive back at Hutchinson, so that shows his versatility and also having that background in basketball and baseball. By this player switching schools, this is what really got him noticed. Credit to him on making that decision. Now, he has the opportunity to make a big impact on the NFL level. Having a player with a background of playing defensive back is golden, Cowboys Nation. Playing the linebacker position in coverage and having an understanding what the safeties and the cornerbacks are doing. On top of that, being able to cover himself. That's the kind of player that we need on this team. This is a player that also outplayed Sam Williams when he played against him at Ole Miss. Followed with 2 sacks, tackles for loss, blowing up running backs, all types of plays. And it truly showed flashes of a promising player. Some of this player's weaknesses are, he's a big hitter, which could be a good thing, but sometimes he can over pursue and overplay his assigned gap. Sometimes just making the tackle is okay and not trying to blow somebody's head off every play, because it could be critical if you miss big tackles. There's always room for this player to add more weight to his 225-pound frame. He is a strong athlete, but going against these tight ends and these brute strong, pulling guards, sometimes you're gonna have to get your weight up. So getting in there, adding 5 to 10 pounds to your frame is always a good thing, as long as you keep your athleticism. He's a player that runs a 4.62, and that's okay for the linebacker position, but there are a lot of athletic tight ends and running backs. So you have to make sure that you have the proper run technique and coverage technique, because you can get cooked out there by those tight ends and running backs. And you don't want to be on somebody's highlight reel. That is the worst, and that can get you benched. Making sure that this player is schemed right, get with Dan Quinn, and get this thing right. Storey Jackson will come in here trying to make a name for himself on special teams, but also competing for snaps on scout team with guys like Luke Gifford and Devin Harper. It will definitely be an uphill battle for this player, because guys like Luke Gifford has shown the ability to be a solid contributor on this team. So Storey Jackson is going to have to come in here and stand out, and it starts with training camp. Storey Jackson truly has an opportunity to make an impact for the Cowboys in training camp. I'm going to have my eyes on this player. He's a gritty type of athlete, and we're going to see how badly this player wants it. He came from a lot of schools and he made the right moves. This is the type of guy that you need, somebody that sets the tone. I believe that this player is going to really make a name for himself once they get the pads on, because that separates the men from the boys, baby. And I'm telling y'all right now, make sure y'all look out for Storey Jackson. I like him a lot, but he's got to go out there and prove it, all right? So this is going to end all my breakdown coverage. It's been a good little run for my first breakdown series. So now it's time to get into training camp, all right, y'all? So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe so y'all can come vibe. You already know what it is. Gone.